Hey everybody, it's Renee again from the Let's Get Real channel. If you see any smoke, I'm smoking a cigarette. I know I need to quit. I already have a bad nasal congestion problem I've had my whole life, and it's bad enough I can't breathe. But anyways, yeah, I'm trying to quit. But what we're talking about today is these ultimate eating heroes, these professional eaters, these competitive eaters, and what I want to expose about these people is that what you think they actually are doing, they're not doing. Okay? Yes, they consume all this food. Here you got Joey Chestnut, the hot dog eating champion. They consume all this food. Okay? But here we go. Here's another person. Here's Matt Stonie. Let's turn him on here real quick. Bear with me. Okay. You got Matt Stonie. Everybody knows who Matt Stonie is if you're into this competitive eating stuff. This guy is a little skinny guy, maybe 135 pounds. He consumes all this food, right? And he really does it, okay? And people ask, well, how in the hell does he not gain weight? And the answer will be, oh, well, he works out every day. He doesn't eat like that every day. It's only once a week he does these challenges. Let me tell you something, people. If you consume the amount of food that this guy consumes in one of his little challenges here on YouTube, sorry, there's an advertisement coming up, you will be sick for days upon days. The damage that you're doing to your digestive system, you're overloading it. Could you imagine the flatulence, the farting? Could you imagine all the indigestion that you would feel by eating all this amount of food at once? Not to mention it could raise your blood sugar to dangerous levels if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic. This is not a healthy way to live, okay? They do this for money. But here's my point, okay? I got some inside information. I'm not going to tell you how I got inside information, but I'm going to tell it to you. These competitive eaters, all these guys that consume this huge amount of food, whether it be in competitions or on YouTube, regurgitate that food. After the challenge is over, after Matt Stonie is done putting what looks like 10, 15 pounds worth of whatever, fries or whatever there is in chili sauce, yes, people, he goes and regurgitates this food. It sounds sick, but it's true. Almost all these guys do that, especially the ones that are really thin. Like, have you seen the girl that can eat 25 Big Macs, and she's thin as a rail? She doesn't gain an ounce. Of course, she throws it up. Because let me tell you something. I tried doing this on a small scale. And you know when your body tells you, oh my God, you've had enough, you're getting sick? That's when I stopped, and I felt like shit for days. For days. I couldn't eat anything for days. I just felt like shit. I felt weighed down, bloated, gassy. It was just a nightmare for days, okay? It doesn't last 24 hours. It's like days of just suffering from overloading your body by forcing food down your throat. And these guys have trained themselves to ignore their gag reflex. They're not actually tasting the food. They're opening up their throats and pushing the food down, and they're ignoring their gag reflex because they trained themselves to ignore the gag reflex, okay? And they also train to expand their stomachs by drinking huge amounts of liquids, okay? This is how they train. They'll drink shitloads of liquids and expand their stomachs. Day after day, they'll just drink a lot of liquids until their stomach can't take it anymore. This is what they do to expand their stomachs so they can put down all this food. Here you see Matt Stonie stuffing his face. You think he's having a good old time. He is trying to push the food down his throat. He's opening up his throat and pushing it down with liquid and forcing it. Totally ignoring the gag reflex. It's disgusting. And if you think he's going to spend the time to digest this food, wrong. They throw it up. Okay? So then you got all these people on YouTube that are like I'm going to try this out. This sounds like a good way to make some money. Stuff my face. I only do it once a week. Brother, once a week is all you need to become like this guy, Randy Santel. This guy doesn't regurgitate his food. He actually eats the food and suffers the consequences. But what happened? Look at him on the left. Now look at him on the right. That's what happens when you don't regurgitate the food. You gain weight. There's no way that a Matt Stonie can eat the equivalent of a man's calories in one sitting for a week and not gain weight. I mean, these guys can eat the amount of calories that you would need for an entire week in one damn 45-minute to an hour sitting, and you really want to believe that they're not going to gain a damn ounce off it? No, they throw it up. That is a disgusting truth about this competitive eating. If you're one of these guys that's infatuated with it and you want to try it, the reality of it is, whatever you stuff down your throat beyond your capacity is going to get thrown up. There's no way that you can digest that amount of food and not suffer the consequences of many different gastrointestinal problems and or obesity. I mean, look at Randy Santel, the kind of shape he was in before he started becoming a competitive eater. I mean, come on. Is that healthy? Of course not. It may seem cool to be able to stuff your face with 69 hot dogs, but if you're going to try to make a living with it, you got to expect a lot of health problems, and you're going to be doing a lot of barfing. Okay? Don't let these guys fool you talking about, they work out and they keep fit the rest of the time. No, they throw it up. Okay? That's the real. Out.